Hi, third and fourth graders. Mr. Askelson here. It is June 2nd, 2020, and we are getting down to the last few days of school, Tuesday and Wednesday left. It was nice to see some of you that came out for the parade yesterday. It was fun walking through the neighborhoods and waving to some of you and seeing families and just where everybody lives. It's kind of fun to walk through the neighborhood. So it was nice to see all of you yesterday. Today, the game that I'd like to share with you, and I know that many of you have played this game because we did play it throughout the year. It's called Multiplication Fact Yahtzee, and it's a kind of a fast-paced game, fun to play, and it works on your multiplication skills. So the materials you would need are two dice, one printable, or you can even draw. All it is just kind of a long rectangle with a bunch of squares in there. But if you can print something off, you can print off this fact Yahtzee game board. About 18 small objects per player for covering spots on the board, like a dried bean or a little piece of paper or a chip or something like that. And then if you need a multiplication fact sheet, if you're a little rusty on those, kind of nice to have one of those fact sheets. But this really does help with your multiplication skills. So the object of the game to be the first person to cover all the numbers on your game board. So how to play. On your turn, roll two dice. Multiply the two numbers together and cover the number that matches the product of the two dice. For example, if you roll a 3 and a 4, say 3 times 4 equals 12, and cover a 12 on your board. If the product is already covered, play passes to the next player. The first person to cover all of the numbers on their game board wins. So let's take a real quick look. Now, if you're using dice that have 1 through 6 on it, if you multiply all the combinations of numbers on two dice, these are the products that you would find. 1 times 1 is 1. 6 times 6 is 36. So from 1 to 36 is where all the products would fall. So how you would play, one person would start. I've got some dice here from our math series, and I'll just roll. Okay, I've got 1 times 4. So I would look back on my game board and I would see if I was this player right here, I would take and I would cover the number 4. And then the second player would go. So we'll go back to my dice. I'll roll that one. Okay, I've got 4 times 5. So back on here, if the other person was playing this one, I would say 4 times 5 is 20. So I would come down here and I would highlight or I would mark 20, and then play would go back to the next person. So I'll go to my dice again, and I've got 4 times 3. So back on my game board, 4 times 3 is 12. So I would highlight the 12, and you would keep playing until you get all the numbers on your board filled in. Seems pretty easy, and it is pretty easy at first when you have a lot of numbers to cover. As you get towards the end, though, it gets harder and harder to roll the combination that you need to match the number on your board. So it gets trickier as you go on. There is another version you can play, and if I have a set of dice and you have a set of dice and somebody else maybe we're playing has a set of dice, everybody has their own set, and you just keep rolling and playing simultaneously, so it goes really, really fast. So it becomes then kind of a race to see who can roll and name all their multiplication facts first. So today's game is Multiplication Fact Yahtzee. I hope you enjoy it. Play during the summer if you have some time. Work on those multiplication facts, and it's going to be a hot one today. Maybe some storms later tonight. So I hope you have a nice day and stay safe.